The warship Le Scorpion of 74 guns, first launched in 1790, was taken on the 29th of August 1793 by Lord Hood at Toulon as part of the captured fleet when the English and Loyalist forces seized control of the city. Le Scorpion was one of 31 ships of the line that were handed to the British as part of the combined operation. Of these, 4 were to sail under the temporary command of French Loyalist forces before going on to become part of the Royal Navy. On the 20th of November 1793, Le Scorpion served in the British squadron under the command of Rear Admiral Cosby and was in Leghorn Harbour, having taken on military supplies and livestock for the population of Toulon, awaiting orders to depart with the rest of the squadron. The ship under Captain M. de Goy had a crew of 600 Frenchmen aboard. Rumors of the day state that the crew had a high percentage of invalids, which by today may be considered men without sailing or nautical skill, as it's hard to understand why invalided men would be serving on the ship during a supply convoy. At 3 p.m., large volumes of smoke were observed issuing from various parts of the ship, followed shortly by flames which caught the rigging and sails. The crew, then overwhelmed, began jumping overboard, everyone driven to escape with their own lives. Boats belonging to the squadron of British, Spanish, and Neapolitan men of war picked up many of those who could reach them in the sea, but feared to approach too close to the burning hull due to the ship's cannons, which were continually baking off and firing 12 and 24-pound shot, as well as grape, across the harbor, which was adding greatly to the discomfort of the men who were desperately trying to save themselves in the water by getting away from the burning hull. Rear Admiral Cosby, aware of the danger to his ships that the 300 barrels of gunpowder in the magazine of Le Scorpion represented, immediately put to sea with the rest of his squadron. By 4 p.m., all the rigging and masts had been seen to be completely ablaze, the gun ports resembling lines of so many open furnaces. By now, the blazing ship threatened to set fire to the rest of the shipping within the harbor, and it was fortunate that a strong offshore breeze drifted Le Scorpion past the other ships and out to sea. At 8 p.m., Le Scorpion was 4 Italian miles, about 6 kilometers from the port, when the magazines blew up and the ship disintegrated. The next morning, the only thing to be seen was the charred remains of a fragment of hull covered in the bodies of the dead. Of the 600 members of crew on board, 390 perished, including Captain M. de Goy, who was said to have died in the ship, attempting to maintain order while abandoning the burning vessel. To the loss of life must be added a great quantity of livestock and all manner of provisions, destined for Toulon, reckoned to be worth 1 million piastres, or approximately $60 million in today's value. It was reported that the accident happened when the fumes from a barrel of brandy were ignited by the flames of a nearby candle, causing the fire to spread throughout the ship. Within a few days, workmen began salvaging for the cannon, for which they were allowed 1/3 the value of what they could recover.